stand at a time in our history where more than ever before, kids need to have a better grasp and understanding of what makes America so unique. And a series of books featuring Ellis the Elephant seeks to ensure that this next generation and many more to follow never forget what makes this such a special place to thrive and survive. Ellis makes his latest appearance in the book From Sea to Shining Sea. He heads west with Lewis and Clark. And we're proud to welcome in the author who takes us on that ride. Callista Gingrich joins us today. Mrs. Gingrich, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get started on everything else, why Ellis the Elephant? I'm curious, why an elephant?
Well, when I developed this series 3 years ago, I knew I needed an interesting character to capture the attention of small children. And I did consider many animals, including bunnies and hippos and giraffes, but in the end I couldn't resist this adorable little elephant, Ellis the Elephant, who's brought to life beautifully by my illustrator, Susan Arciero.
And it's so important for history. I'm one of those guys that says, as we look at what kids are being taught nowadays, and you've even said this before, it's revisionist history in so many ways. Kids need to learn the real history of America. They're not being taught it, are they?
That's right. Unfortunately, today, many of our schools are failing to teach our history, including our founding principles and values, and instead teaching revisionist or politically correct history. And as a result, they really are missing out on the basics of what it means to be American. And as we look at some of the statistics, it's really quite sobering. Today, only 20% of fourth graders, 17% of eighth graders, and 12% of 12th graders are actually at grade level proficiency in American history. So we have some work to do, and we owe it to our kids to give them the tools they need at a very early age so they begin to appreciate the greatness of this nation.
We're wrapped up in such a debate right now about education in this country. Common Core comes to mind right away because there are some people who say it is absolutely the right thing to do, but I talk to experts and they tell us we are falling so far behind the Chinese and other countries right now because to them it's a privilege and they think it's cool to be educated and to be very smart. But we're not that group right now. Our kids don't seem to feel that. And a lot of people say it's Common Core's fault. Where do you fall on that?
Well, whether or not you agree with Common Core, it's a fact as it's implemented in most of our states. As for children's books, Common Core is most concerned with the use of proper grammar and syntax, as well as age-appropriate vocabulary, which most of us can agree is a pretty good idea. So Ellis the Elephant and I are going to continue to keep our facts accurate historically. We're going to use good grammar, and we're going to make history easy and accessible for kids.
Isn't it that keeping it accurate, isn't that the biggest thing that we miss a lot of times in the education? Sometimes the parents lose track of that, but the schools don't seem to keep it accurate.
That's right.
When I grew up, you were supposed to be accurate in schools. What happened?
Well,
why did that happen?
Unfortunately, some on the left continue to want to degrade our history. But we need to give our kids the tools they need so they do know what it means to be an American, so they have a sense of patriotism, so they know what it means to live in this country and to appreciate this great nation.
I've only got a couple minutes left here, and I want to step away to something that also is very serious. This phony war on women that we've heard so much about. Do you feel as if you've been in a war? And that someone's attacking you?
No, I don't. I think this is largely manufactured as a political ploy. I think most women have the same concerns that most men have. We're concerned about the economy. We're concerned about security, health care, education. I don't feel like there's a war on me personally.
Doesn't it in many ways degrade women in some ways? Because it says basically all you're going to do is listen to the man. The man tells you what you do, and that's what the war is. That to me is, instead of being something that you would celebrate, I would be ashamed to tell somebody that there's a war on women or that I would accuse somebody else of doing that.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the whole concept is losing steam.
Do you think finally that we've gone past it, though? That's the big thing. With what's happened in the midterms now, the Republicans finally getting control, do you think hopefully we've gone past that, we won't see it anymore?
I think we have. We have more women in Congress now than ever. It's a very exciting time. We have many issues ahead of us as a country, and we have real concerns. So I think some of the rhetoric needs to be dropped, and we need to focus on the issues that are important to the future of this country.
When are you going to run for office?
Well,
I'm sure you've been asked that a couple hundred times, but I have to ask again. You would be perfect for it.
Thank you. Right now, I'm enjoying children's history and working to get kids excited about what it means to be an American.
Where's Ellis go next, by the way?
Well, book number 5 will be coming out next October. It will be called Oh Say Can You See, and we'll look at the War of 1812 and the survival of a young nation.
I think it's great that kids are finally getting a chance to learn it and learn the real history, and it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. I want to remind everybody of the book. Let's go ahead and show you the book one more time. The title title is called From Sea to Shining Sea. It is Ellis the Elephant. And you're right, it's beautifully illustrated. I had a chance to see it before we came out here. It's really well done. If you have kids, it's for kids of what ages, by the way?
4 to 8 years of age.
4 to 8 years of age. I'm going to get it on. Make sure that you go ahead and get that. Please, Mrs. Gingrich, thank you so much for being here. Keep up the great work with Ellis.
Thanks, Ed.
And by the way, you need to have an elephant with red hair next time because we kind of look real good. Find that elephant. I'd be fun with that. Thank you so much again. After the break, Callista brought along her husband. He knows a thing or two about politics. Newt Gingrich will discuss issues Ellis the Elephant would never forget. And neither will we. And at 51 minutes after the hour, break out the gloves for another Friday edition of the Political Punching Bag. It's how we send you into the weekend, right here on Midpoint, where every day, our motto, we question everything.